All right, welcome everyone to the pre-show, Chronologically Gaming pre-show. If you're here early, you probably want me to say things and actually talk like a normal person. This actually is Chronologically Gaming. We have played every video game in order of release, just like the title says. Started in 1971, and we are just about to finish November 1982. And when we say every video game, we don't just mean a certain console. We mean every console, every handheld, all arcade games all over the world. Hi, GSE Stream. Welcome again. Glad to have you. We are going to be playing some more games. And reading about some games and checking out some games. We do it all here, at least for right now. Mainly I've never heard of or seen this one either until just a few weeks ago. This is another one of those titles that if you mess around with MAME, you come across it and have some fun. Howdy, Brad. Do you really live in Sioux City? Which, by the way, where is everybody from? I know we had some people come in from across the pond in England, and they were staying up way too late. You don't have to give me, your address. Just either the state or the country that you're coming in from. I'm broadcasting live from the United States. Central Time. Oh, Georgia, excellent. My dad's from Georgia. And you really do. In Sioux City. Well, welcome, welcome. Oh, Colorado. Excellent, Paul. I had mentioned before that I wanted to do our backlog of video games. Oh, there you go. Richards, Arizona. Oh, originally, though, from England. Excellent. Yeah, it is a mess. It is a messed up time. I know. I feel the games that we're seeing now are leading us away from the golden age of arcade games. And in a way, I feel like I should go back and play them longer because we kind of rushed through the golden age of arcade games. I was popping games in really fast. Plus, that was when we were doing the show for an hour. So it's a different feel. Oh, yes. I'm originally from Texas, so yeah. Yeehaw! I don't really sound Texan, though. Well, I'm wanting to go through all the games in the backlog, but I mentioned that we were going to go finish 1982 and then play the games in the backlog, and I just wanted to pick everyone's brain and get your opinion on it. Would you prefer that this show continues on and moves forward after 1982, just goes right into 1983, and then, at some point we do the backlog games and just ignore them for now, or we go back and play all the games? I think we got over 600, a little over 600 games in the backlog that people have said, hey, you forgot that game or such and such game. Oh yeah, we got a lot of great new games. I'm just not sure if it would mess the flow up. I really want to do it just because when we hit 1983, I want to be able to say everything that we've seen, or like have all the games we played and really be able to compare to the new stuff before I get all excited. Oh gosh, this is all brand new, but then turns out it was already done, in the late 70s or something like that. Oh, pick a day for it. That's a good idea. Oh, a special backlog on Saturday is a good idea. And there we go. That's what I think too, Manly. Do the backlog offline and then just post them when I do vacations, and then slowly whittle our way through, because we're still going to be in 1982 for a while. But great ideas. Yep, I'd like to tackle it too. Yeah, Charlie, I'm with you there. Whatever it takes, just no game left behind. Every game. Oh, those are lots of great ideas, though. I think I might do the vacation route, but I'll keep that on the back burner. All right, it's showtime. Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. This is it. We're right at the end of November 1982. What video games have you played so far? We were last on the Atari 2600 checking out Word Zapper, and I'd say Word Zapper is a little more educational than Typo Attack. Typo Attack, you're just hunting and pecking on the keys, but this one, you actually have to know how to spell to play Word Zapper. All right, let's see what our next game is. We're next on the Apple II, and this is Zendar. I am not familiar with this one. Let's check out the box for Zendar, or A2SG3 Zendar. You know what that means? It's by Sublogic. The front of this box is like the other games that we've seen by Sublogic. Very small picture of the screenshot. You only need 48K for it. You flip it over in the back, and it is only about Sublogic, keeping it very business. And that's about it. What other artwork do we have for Zendar? Looks like a map. At least it shows the screenshot on the front. And we do have a slight instruction screen, but I believe we have the manual. So we'll be able to check out and know how to play Zendar. And then just because I throw in a few feelies every now and then, the software registration for Zendar. And then there's the 5 1/4 floppy disk. We're going to pop into our Apple II to play with the example of the screenshot. Here we go. Tell us how to play Zendar. This game is only available on the Apple II, and it's the 424th game we've seen for this computer, and this computer will not quit. We're going to keep seeing this all the way until 89, 90, I think. So it's going to be here a while. This is the 9th game we've seen by Sublogic so far. They've done games like A2FS1 Flight Simulator, Night Mission Pinball, and Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's those guys. And they're going to make this game, Zendar. The people of Zendar need your help. 8 countries make up the island continent on the brink of economic collapse. This is another one of those 4X titles. Your objective is to maximize your score by increasing the number of countries that you own through annexation or war, contingent on improving the health, economic wealth, morale, and war strength of the total population under your control. So right now, I bet we lost about 25% of the viewers right now on the live show, because if you're here for arcade-style games, which most people are around November 1982, this is not your cup of tea. It starts out with initial asset allotments, the board layout, and we'll see the board layout. It's the most graphics you'll see in the game. Your objectives of the game is to combine your health, wealth, morale, war strength in countries, gain control of other countries either through annexation or war. In other words, it's a 4X title or a strategy game. And we have assignments. The game's played over a period of 10 years. Each year is broken into 4 quarters or periods. And you can take as many assignments or as few assignments, trade agreements, as you desire in any one period. So it's a turn-based game, but it's giving you more freedoms than some of the other turn-based games we played so far. And then we also can trade between countries. You can annex countries if you negotiate well enough. And then you can even declare war. I don't even know if there's animation if we declare war, but it just happens, and you see who wins. Whenever you end a period, you press D to go to the next one, and you have other commands, and you can always push help to see everything because you got to know what they are. And then the conclusion, they'll give you, after your 10-year reign, a rating divided into 4 categories. You can be fair, good, very good, or excellent. Very by the book, Sublogic, at least what it seems to here. Let's pop in that disc and play Zendar. This is Terry Egan, Paul Bigham, and Ulraya Bigham, released at some time in November 1982. Only games we've seen by this group of people so far have been games like Roadblock and The Black Forest. Has a lot to be desired. Ooh, this is it. Zendar. Now, this style of game is the 4X style strategy game. This is the 14th video game we've seen so far that is like this. Games like Galactic Saga or Galactic Empire or Galaxy by Avalon Hill, or the very rare Utopia that's on the Mattel and Television, or Andromeda Conquest or Mission Empire that's on the TRS-80 color computer. This also kind of gives me some feels of the managerial business simulation games we played at this time, like Roman Empire, Warlord, Conqueror on the Commodore VIC-20, New World on the Apple II, and games like that. All right, so you begin with 250 resources that can be distributed between administrators, military personnel, scientists, engineers, and units of gold. The gameplay occurs on an island, and I'll show you this island. Let's do a new game. Oh, the people of Zendar need your help. Our economies are failing, and we are under the constant threat of enemy country on our continent. We, the people of country number 7, That's it. That's our unique name of our country. Offer you absolute ruling power over our small country for a period of 10 years. We only wish you could guarantee you a full reign. Please accept our plea immediately. Tell us how you plan to divide the assistance and assets up so we can accommodate the 99 people. And you can just push enter and it assigns them all evenly, which I will do. I'm going to go ahead and enter. And everyone's evenly divided. Is that satisfactory? Yes. We don't have time to divide things. And there's our blue ship. That's us arriving. And then I'll show you from the other side. You can see they have the reserve that's down at the bottom right of the screen. We are country number 7. So we are blue, the blue country. The only one that's our enemy right now is country number 2. The dreaded country number 2. And the reason I know that is because country number 2 is orange, and then all the things we have in reserve is what we can use for asset allocation. All right, so if you push H on the command, it'll give you all the it'll give you all the commands that you can say, like assigning things, annexing things, trade arrangements, war. When you're done with this turn, take a vacation, which I think that's hilarious. I don't think we've played a strategy game where you can take a vacation. I could do that. And then you got all the abbreviations. So if you look at the screen and you wonder, what in the world are they talking about? We have ERP. Well, that's breaking everything down so you know what all your resources and how you can allocate them. All right, so let's try to play the game. So it takes place on this one screen. This is the one you're going to see the most. You're going to be competing against larger, aggressive nations that try to take control of the land. Whenever we do our turn, it's not real time, so nothing's happening. No one else can make any decisions without us. We can attempt to wage war against other countries, annex other countries, offer trade alliances if we want to. So this one here is kind of ambitious, but also this style of game is very, very rare. Most of the time, people are wanting arcade games, action games right now. At one point, do you remember in 1972 when Pong came out? Everything was Pong, and a video game, when you said video game, just meant Pong. People are still thinking that. They kind of have that mindset. But there are other gamers right now that are playing video games like role-playing games, strategy games, simulation games, and war games. And so those other categories don't really get as much love right now. All right, so what do we want to do first? Let's try to trade. I want to trade. Start a trade. Yes, I want to start a trade. So this is how the game is played. You have to know all the commands. Most likely you're going to have the manual with you, right? Oh, and Paul's bringing up Hammurabi. Yes, and a little less like Empire. Great examples. 2 really good ones. One of the pioneers for these styles of games. I'd say a little bit more advanced than Hammurabi. More like Sumer would be another example. And G's Dreams bringing up Monopoly. All right, we want to trade between our country, number 7, because right now we only have number 7, and country number, let's try country number 8. Are they going to be friendly? Country 7 and 8 can trade. So we begin the trade, and it sets us up. You can see it has T for 7 and 8. All right, so now that we can trade, we can try to assign some different resources. Assign to country number 7. And I don't really know what to do. I've only messed around with the Zendar just a little bit. But you can see here, you're supposed to allocate all your energy, raw materials, production, manpower, transportation, agriculture, war power, and make the best decisions, kind of like we've seen with management simulation games, but on a much grander scale, especially when they incorporate war and annexation and some political agreements, things like that. So it has a lot going for it. All right, so what we're going to do, let's try 5. 0, 5, 7, and then you have to go for each one. That's rough. And you can see down at the bottom, it's calculating each one that I'm adding in until I can use all of the reserves. But this is how you're needing to allocate to be the best ruler of country number 7 on the entire continent of Zendar. And then that's good. Assignments ended. And then we say, I'm done with this turn. I think I've accomplished a lot. And then if you look at the top right, whoa, it's 2035. This is way in the future on the lost continent of Zendar. And now as we complete our turn, all of the other countries are going to do their turns, making decisions behind the scenes. And that's how the game's played. So this is really, really brief example of how you would play the game Zendar. It's some tropes we've seen before from other games. It is doing very little that would be setting it apart from other style of games, but just because this kind of game is so rare. I would have to play this a lot longer to get a good rating on it, and I understand if most people that are here for the live show wouldn't be able to rate Zendar because you'd have to spend a long time seeing how this fares to all the other games out there. It is not so easy of a pick up and play kind of game because of how much of the manual you have to study. Reminds me of the other strategy games and war games we played. So of all the games you could play right now on all home computers, from what I've experienced, I'm going to have to say just still pretty average for Zendar. This isn't doing anything highly impressive compared to everything else that's out there. Yeah, I didn't even get any ratings from the chat, but you can play it a lot longer if you want to. Even Paul, okay, Paul and Tisk, you're saying still around the average range, 2.5 stars for all the games you could play on all home computers right now. Well, Zendar, I expected a lot more from Sublogic, and they did okay, but there's just a lot more out there. Yeah, a week manly at least, right? And Psychosis Media's thrown out 3 too. All right, after that, let's see what our next game is. We're going to be on the Apple II a little bit longer for the latest release. This is Zenith. Let's check it out. I'm really excited to show off this one. Here's the box for Zenith. Ooh, on the inside sleeve, too. This one is also only for the Apple II. It is the 425th game we've played for the Apple II and all models of the Apple II. This looks awesome. Really encapsulating the game, too. It looks pretty good with the... I mean, it's 1982. Anything that has the grid like Tron looks fantastic. Oh, but this is great. Gabelli software, and it's by Nasir Gabelli. I'm ready to see some crazy stuff, just because I've seen a lot already. This is the 15th game we've seen by Gabelli software so far, bringing us incredible games like Laser Silk, Ruski Duck, Candy Factory, Phaser Fire, and Dr. Goodcode's Cavern, just to name a few. And this one's done by Nasir Gabelli, the 10th game we've seen by Nasir so far, doing really, really crazy good games like Phantoms 5, Firebird, Gorgon, Space Eggs, Exit, Neptune, and Horizon 5. And so I'm looking for something really good with Zenith. That's what it looks like, making TVs, right? Yes, Zenith. Was that a company right now in 1982? There's the 5 1/4 floppy disk to play some Zenith with. Ooh, the preview of things to come. Let's pop it and play Zenith. It released at sometime in November 1982. Oh, yes. Bring it on. So after all those titles I mentioned, most of the time when we get a game by Nasir Gabelli, some magic's happening on the screen. And let's see the magic. Oh my gosh. Feast your eyes on that. Earth Station. To the commander of Skyfighter, your mission is to guard the city Zenith while under construction. Under construction, destroy any flying objects over the city and repair any damages. Good luck. Yeah, we're going to need it. Holy cow. That's right, Marshall brought up Final Fantasy, and yes, he did. Because he gets picked up by Square. I can't wait. All right, so spacebar or a keyboard if you want to do keyboard controls. No way. We got the joystick plugged in. Hit that button and let's go. The level is 3. You can press the keys 1, 2, and 3, or buttons 1 to change. Oh, nice. So if I want to change the level to 1, push number 1, and then go. Sweet. Oh, whoa, this is otherworldly. I want to see what kind of freedom do I have to control this. It's really reminiscent of Horizon 5. Horizon 5 had the grid view like this. Wow, I guess that was Zenith. I wasn't supposed to destroy the column. But this is allowing you to swerve and maneuver around. How in the world is this happening on the Apple II? I already thought Horizon 5 was impressive enough, but this right here looks crazy. Oh, that looked like a TIE fighter. This is using all the power of the Apple II, and that's why we have this very, very minute sound for the pea shooter of my lasers. My lasers and the explosion are like non-existent because everything is working to make this happen. What really blows me away is how fast this is. Very similar to when we played Way Out on the Atari home computer. How it was able to move so quickly around like this in a 3D space. Gosh, it's giving me It's giving me vibes of a battle zone, like a virtual space. Yes. Oh, Paul, great example of Star Wars Arcade. We haven't seen Star Wars Arcade yet. I believe that's sometime 1983. And so this is out in 1982. This is crazy. Oh, I'm supposed to be protecting Zenith. I don't know if I've been doing such a good job. I've been blowing up things. Just to fly around, though, is awesome. Maybe it's true. We played space combat games where you're flying around with a starfield, and it just feels cooler flying around in the grid. It feels like I'm flying in cyberspace or something. No way, Curtis, really? Were you blown away when you saw the game? When it depends if when you're in high school. Was it November 1982 or was it 83 when you saw it? But were you just amazed at this? Whoa, yeah, there we go. We got some attack sound, or explosion sound. It really feels like the entire game is going for the graphics, and that's why we're getting no music, no sound, or the sound effect is just very, very simple. But still, this is awesome. To be able to move and see the grid like this, gosh, that just looks really cool. And just because it's real time, it doesn't look real. It looks like I'm watching a demo and it's playing itself. But no, I am actually controlling this. I can wiggle the analog joystick and go all around. Oh, that's so cool. I can blow up the aliens. We got another one that's over here. Oh, I gotta watch out for him. Oh, yep, that's gonna mess us up. I see our fuel that's down there. What I want to know, though, is how do we build this? Because there's not a manual for Zenith. All we got was that intro crawl at the top of the screen. So I don't really know if we're supposed to be defending and building, but it looks like we have some aliens. I don't know if he was helping us build Zenith or if that's one of the ones I'm supposed to be destroying that's trying to blow up our city. Wow, this is fun. Whatever, I'll just keep blowing up anyway. It's also a little underwhelming hearing your little pea shooter laser fly around. Oh, that's right. Psychosis Media, that's the way to do it. Play background music. I wonder if that was in the manual. Nasir knew, just play some music on the side, and you'll be all right. So this is great. We call these vehicle simulation games. This is a space combat simulator, and it's the 14th space combat simulator we've seen so far on Chronologically Gaming. Of course, Star Raiders comes to mind. We've already seen that on the Atari home computer, Atari 2600, and the Atari 5200, but also Space Raiders on the Apple II is another copy that you can play on the Apple II. Shadowhawk 1 is also on the Apple II. Star Master for the Atari 2600. Shootout at the OK Galaxy is kind of like a watered-down version of those kinds of games. And we also played a really good one, Phaser Patrol, that was a lot of fun on the Atari 2600. And so this one is just really cool. This one is another example of let's make a game that plays like an arcade game at home. What I want to know is I have a score at the bottom. Okay, so when I'm shooting, I'm getting points, so I guess I'm supposed to blow those guys up. But I'd love to know more information about this besides just how amazing this is to look at. Oh, and Kun's bringing up Aces High. We haven't seen Aces High yet. I believe that's sometimes 1983. Well, I should say this is Aces High wouldn't be a space combat simulator. It would be just a flight combat simulator. This one is in space. Oh, and Manly's already thrown out a 4.5-star rating of all the games you could play on all home computers. That's pretty good. And I see some 4s over there. Curtis, yeah, that's true, Curtis. It doesn't have a ton of depth, but it's just it's so good to control. Using the analog joystick, it's fantastic. I don't want to say or compare to the Atari 5200 too much, but that one did have an analog joystick, and it was similar to that. It looks like it was homing in on us. That was awesome. But I got a 3.5 from Psychosis. Paul's about 3.5 to 4. Mostly 4 stars. Oh, the Aces High is the Iron Maiden song. Okay, I'm in video game land, not music land right now. Yeah, overall, Kun's saying 3.5. Charlie's saying 3.5. I might be sold because of all the games you could be playing right now on all home computers, kind of like when we played the Way Out games, it was still amazing that that was the first time we've seen it, and this is another one. Zenith is great. I want to say it's more than Horizon 5. So for all the games you could play on all home computers, I'm going to go 4 stars. I could maybe go 4.5. I think there was only one. I think Manly was the only one in the chat that went 4.5 stars. Yes, I would have. Yeah, this feels like another level to play a game like this. And this is the opening the doors of all the computer games we're going to see that start incorporating 3D wireframe graphics or pseudo sprite scaling, you know, like trying to push the limits of what these original computers could do. This is the same computer. Well, I guess it's probably memory expansion, but the same computer that was first released in 1977. That is amazing. And we got Brad throwing out 3.5. Maybe I'm just blown away, but it's pretty cool. All right, so after that, let's see what our next game is. Oh, it cut ahead. It ruined the surprise. But our next game is in the arcade, and it's Zoar. Let's check out Zoar. Oh, that game would have been so good with the Vectrex, definitely. All right, here's the advertisement flyer for Zoar. This game is only in the arcade. It's the 561st game that we've seen in the arcade thus far. Action stations, fighter bomber battle thrills. I'm already hooked. This one's by Data East, the 26th game that we've seen by Data East so far. They've done everything in the arcade except Lock and Chase that was on the Atari 2600 and the Intellivision. Everything else by Data East is here in the arcade. We got the back of the advertising flyer with some screenshots, really good ones too. Looks awesome. And then we have, all the enemy types. So more artwork, and then it even explains how to play. Zoar takes you in the battle pilot seat through fighter bomber action thrills. Zoar is the victory sign. Awesome. And then another one, Tago Electronics, showing the different systems with Zoar. I love it. And then how to play Zoar. The year is 2020 AD. Uh-oh, it is? That's not good. Zoar is one of the last survivors of Federation defenses. He is the best battle pilot and the swiftest, most deadly aircraft in a future world. Yeah, the future of 2020. Zoar is a flying aircraft that will give you 3-dimensional play. The joystick moves the craft from left to right and raises or lowers altitude. If you lower Zoar, he flies faster, and if you raise, he flies slower but can bomb a little more accurately, I think. Press the fire button to shoot rockets. They too are changing altitudes, and you can change ships. I think this back of the flyer is also the same thing that we're going to see in the manual, I believe. Look at that. It's got lots of good stuff back there, even the point values. There's the example of the arcade cabinet that I could find, and then another one that's a fabricated one. There's the arcade PCB, and for controls we have, wow, that's awesome. We have a 4-way joystick. We're essentially going to be able to move left and right. We can gain out the altitude and lower altitude, and then we can use high and low missiles, and we have a top speed button. That's so cool. There's the arcade marquee. I don't know if we're going to be Blade Runners. If it's 2020. This is a completely different experience in 2020. There's the example of the screenshot, and here we go. Yeah, manual might have the exact same thing we saw on that flyer. Let's see how they describe Zoar in November 1982. The year is 2020 AD. I really want to tell them what 2020 is actually going to be like. Yeah, this is the exact same information. The fire button will shoot rockets, bomb button will destroy dynasty vessels and ground installations. Whoa, this is awesome. And I believe that's it, just the point values. In the year 2020. It does, Steve, it almost sounds like Mission X. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I don't remember this one, but I'm already kind of impressed just by reading it. All right, we're going to the arcade to play some Zoar. This is Data East, so we're in Japan playing it for the first time, released at some time in November 1982. Whoa, so cool. Now, the arcade attract mode already has me thinking of shoot-em-ups. Auto-scrolling shoot-em-ups. So this is the 174th video game we've played that is a scrolling shoot-em-up. And it's the 49th that we've seen in the arcade so far. But that's all shoot-em-ups. You know, shoot-em-ups that go up like this. Shoot-em-ups that go to the right like Scramble. Shoot-em-ups that go in different directions like Vanguard. Or shoot-em-ups that go everywhere like Bosconian. That's a lot of shoot-em-ups. This one is one of those it's the shoot 'em up that everyone's going to be seeing later, the top-down auto-scrolling shoot 'em up. And so we've seen shoot 'em ups like this going all the way back to November 1975 was one of the first ones we ever saw, called Avenger. And then since then, we've seen shoot 'em ups like SOS, Astro Fighter, Osmo Wars, Phantom 2, Phantoms 5 on the Apple II by Nasir Gabelli, 0 Hour, Gauntlet, that was on the Coco, Borderline or Star Raker in the arcades, Caverns of Mars and Phobos, but that one was scrolling the other way. It wasn't going up, it was going down. We also saw Red Clash, Space Cruiser, Mission X is another one, but I think we mentioned that one before. TACScan, Phaser Fire on the Apple II, Moonbase IO on the Atari home computer, Starship by Sinclair users. It's the one that scrolls the other way. It goes the other direction. We've also played Space Raider, Worm War 1 on the Atari home computer, Meteor Blaster on the Commodore VIC-20, Radical Radial. More recently, Space Ace on the Atari home computer, Star Warrior on the Sinclair ZX Spectrum, UFO on the Sinclair ZX Spectrum, but it's scrolling the other way, Fantastic Voyage on the Atari home computer, Funky Bee, and another one, but I'm going to wait to tell you about that one. Let's put a coin in and play. Ready? Go. Zoar, Success, Vital Stress, Low Flying Missile, Run for Top Results. Ooh, cool. So there's my long-range missiles. I got short-range missiles, and then where's my, speed. Oh, yeah. I got top speed. Oh, this is killer. So it does allow you to move left and right, but you also can change your altitude. High altitude slows you down. You go down low, and you speed up. Look at that. Whoa, this is so cool. Now, bear in mind, we have not seen Xevious yet. Most accounts say Xevious was released beginning of 1983, but I got some sources that say it was released December 1982, and this one is really close. At least from look at this, the bombs. We have bombs that fall down. They go further down when you're higher up, or at least they travel farther. But you want to go all the way down and touch the runway, get some bonus points, and then come back up. So it's the easiest way we've ever landed a plane here on Chronologically Gaming. All you got to do is lower your altitude, run across the runway, and get some bonus points. Oh, this is so cool. So what you can do is get your hands in the right position, do some long-range missiles, short-range bombs at the same time, and have at it. This is so cool. I can't believe this is out right now. I was really hoping this was the first video game we've seen that has a power-up system. There still is no shoot-'em-up with a power-up system so far. And now all my lives are gone. We can go and put in a high score here. Oh, they made it easy, too. It uses the joystick. That's awesome. Very fun. Let's go again. Yeah, Mission X is really similar to this one. This one, though, is allowing you to move up and down, like the raising your altitude and lowering your altitude, which is a really nice touch. There's only one other game that we've seen that allows you to do that, and that was Rougien in the arcade. But Rougien had more than this. Rougien was a scrolling shoot-'em-up, like this, and it had the raising and lowering altitude, but it had multiple game modes, which was just way too insane for right now. I like really going fast. And I want to see if you can smash into a mountain, but I don't think you can. So, if you were to play this now, considering all the other shoot-'em-ups that are available for you to play, it wouldn't be as impressive. But right now, in November 1982, I just described to you all of the shoot-'em-ups that are like this, in the order that we've seen them so far. It's been a slowly changing genre of this auto... Ooh, land. Can I get it? Yeah, I got a little bit of bonus. I'm doing the top-down auto-scrolling shooter that's like this. This one looks classic of games like we're going to see later, 1942 and things like that. But that's a lot later. Right now, this is a really cool idea and very fresh, having the two different shots, similar like we saw with the side view for Scramble and Super Cobra, but also allowing you to change your altitude up and down, bomb things down below. it really feels like this would be a ripoff of Xevious, or a slight improvement of Xevious, because you can move up and down. But you notice how it's very redundant. The version we're playing on is not the Deco cassette system version, so we didn't have to wait for a cassette to load, but it still is. It would have been available for a cassette or that kind of system. Bonus points, and then take off. So what I mean to say is that's why this is so simplistic. It originally was made for like a Deco cassette system on a cassette tape. Because what you're seeing here is how long can you survive and last. There isn't any bonus items, there isn't any other levels. So while it is impressive, it's not doing what we've seen with the other Scramble style games, going from level to level and seeing how far you can go. That's why I was impressed with Super Cobra that we played on the Sword M5. It was allowing you to go, how many miles can you travel to see the next level and keep going. This one really doesn't have that. Same thing with like Moon Patrol. They're giving you an objective. How far can you go? This one really doesn't have that. It's just last as long as you can and just keep on going. Yeah, but you definitely would have played this. You would have enjoyed this because this is the future of shoot-em-ups. This is where it's going to go. It's very humble beginnings, though, that we see right here, or the other titles that I brought up, like Funky Bee, Mission X, or Phaser Fire, Moonbase IO, Meteor Blaster, or Radical Radial is another one that comes really close to this, but it's pretty good. All right, so looking over the chat, I see Charlie saying it needs more bosses. Yeah, it does, because that's it. That's all you see for the entire game. We also got a generic 3-star rating from Brian. James is going 3.5 to 4. Oh yeah, the altitude adjustment brings it up to 4, says Kun. And then Curtis is saying 3.5 to 4. Yeah, because of the speed, it's not doing... Xevious doesn't allow you to move up and down like that. But again, we haven't seen Xevious yet. It's not out yet. So it's pretty impressive. That's right. You want to play a little bit longer, but from every playtest I've seen of Zoar, what you see here is the entire game. I'm still going to say it's pretty impressive. 3.5 to 4 stars is my rating. Yeah, the altitude. Yeah, I'll say that. Rougian, we said 4.5, but yeah, I'm going to say 4 stars for Zoar. Right now, you would have fun because you would want to see how long you could last, just shooting everything. It's just fun to shoot stuff. Excellent game for the arcade right now. All right, that's where we got to put our video game playing on pause. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining me here live on the show in November 1982. We are just about done. Next time on Chronologically Gaming, the last games of November 1982. And we go out with a bang, playing 2 fun games in the arcade. That's it for today, and like I always say, who knew the year 2020 would be so action-packed? Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.